New midnight class changes. What's up guys, Petko here, welcome for another video. Now those class changes came out 3 days ago, but I was not home and I'm gonna make a video talking about what happened, what got changed and how exactly that's gonna be impacting your performance following the pre-patch release, which is in exactly 4 days from now. And also tomorrow for the people that are gonna miss it, we are updating the tier list because they were class changes and I would say for the most part they were quite impactful. Anyway, enough blabbing. Let's cut to the chase, TLDR, what happened with all the specs and classes. First thing first, Rider of the Apocalypse Decay. Now, for the people saying Rider is dead, currently Rider of the Apocalypse Frost Decay is the best build on Frost Decay and it actually did pretty well. Unfortunately, here's what they're saying here. Reverting the 25% reduction to unholy damage with a fully offset this change. For the Frost Decay, it's adjustment aimed at bringing Rider of the Apocalypse and that bring it closer. AKA, what they're trying to do right now is making sure Rider is playable for both Unholy and Frost. Obviously, Frost was already better, but as you can see, because of this nerf here, I believe that Frost Decay might get back to Deathbringer. Once again, it needs more changes, it needs more testing. I'm unsure whether Rider will remain better compared to Horseman. The same thing goes for Sunlin Unholy compared to Rider of the Apocalypse Unholy, so we need to test that to see exactly what's happening. If anybody in the comments know, let me know. I will be doing some changes, checking some myself, and I'm gonna check the Warcraft logs and compare between last week and this week. And hopefully I'll have more information for you by tomorrow. Unholy Sunling got, it seems like, to be nerfed. I think it was to be expected. I believe the only reason why they actually nerfed Unholy Sunling, and although they didn't really nerf everything, as you can see, there are some nerfs and buffs. For example, Gift to Sound Lane increases the effectiveness of the essence of the Blood Queen by 80%. Okay, was that 100 before? Question mark? I'm not 100% sure. But whether that was the case or not, keep in mind that Unholy Sound Lane was simming as one of the best ST spec, hence why the nerfs here, okay? Blood Decay got buffed by 15%. That is crazy good, by the way. Blood was, I think, doing okay. Like mid-performer, but that's actually pretty good. That will get him closer to the top. So previously Unholy has been nerfed by... Okay, so I'm not understanding correctly. So was that nerf from December reverted? Or is that something else? Because I remember in December they did a 25% hot stealth nerf to Unholy. Is that something else? I'm not sure. We're reverting the baseline outer reduction and we will apply Unholy ability coefficients. Okay, so pretty much they're nerfing the outer 25%. But there are a lot of things that will get nerfed by 25%, right? Epidemic damage increased by 15, Putrefy damage nerfed, Scorpion Strike, melee damage nerfed. Each, okay. Apex Talons also nerfed. Okay, so this, I believe this should be a redistribution of power, which will still end up being a nerf to Unholy. I will be confirming that with you by tomorrow. But all of this to me sounds like a nerf to Unholy. Although they reverted the 25% hotfix nerf that was actually applied quite a few weeks ago. That's exactly how I'm reading it. I could be wrong here, but to me sounds like a nerf to Unholy, not a significant one, however. Yeah, we need to check it out, boys. Tomorrow, check it out, see what's up. Anyway, moving forward to Devourer Demon Hunter. Void card, everybody played Voice card, by the way. Actually, that's not true. Some people played the Annihilator. Student of Suffering grants you more fury per tick. That's fine. And Burning Blade does slightly more damage. That's everything so far. And also for Devourer specifically, Reap damage got increased by 15%. Okay, so that's not really any big changes done to Devourer. Actually pretty interesting. For the past 6 weeks, there's been no changes to Devourer. Okay, there was change like a month ago. Maybe a month and a half ago. That's it. Kind of crazy though. I think Void's card was played by Havoc for the most part. It was pretty much slightly stronger, although in my opinion, Dracula's is way more fun. And I think also Devourer played both. Havoc, Psycho of Hatred no longer starts you off with one stack of the cooldown reduction buff before you've casted IBM. Okay, whatever. That's all for the 4DH. Druid. Balance Druid Apex Talons fixed an issue where a Sentinel Eclipse's rank 4 would hit a single target with 4 lunar bolts instead of 3. That's it. AKA slightly more damage to balance, and that's everything so far for balance. No Pharaoh buffs, actually diabolically bad. What are they doing? Like, what? I don't see why wouldn't they buff? Pharaoh is so bad, that I would rather get a Guardian Druid with it. And speaking about Guardian got a 20% aura buff. So Guardian and Bloody Key were considered one of the bottom tanks right now. Them being buffed, pretty good. That smells to me like no tank will be bad next season, which is actually amazing. Love to see that. Moving forward to Flame Shaper Devastation. Oh no. Consume Flame now deals fire breath damage at 125% effectiveness instead of 150. Okay. That is a large nerf to Consume Flame, by the way. Large nerf to Consume Flame. The question is, does Consume Flame still consumes all the damage on a fire breath on a single target, aka making your prior damage insane? Is that the case? If yes, then Flame Shaper Dev is still insane, although not as broken anymore because of this nerf. And I believe Consume Flame now causes Disintegrate to consume 1.5 seconds of fire breath was 2 seconds. Again, nerf to Consume Flame here. Consume Flame now causes Pyre to consume 8 seconds instead of 10 seconds. To be fair, for the Pyre, it's not a big issue because most of the time you cast 2 Pyres, fire breath already gone. So that's whatever, really. This is the bigger deal breaker in my opinion. Although they buffed Disintegrate by 20%. So slightly more single target on the Devastation Evoker. I would say they need more than that. Slightly more than 20, maybe like 30%. That would be pretty good. I'm not sure if the para damage bug is fixed or not. If it's not, Dev is too insane. If it is, unlucky. Hunter. Dark Ranger MM Hunter got buffed. Dark Ranger was completely useless. They buffed it by quite a bit. I will see if that's going to be better now. I don't have high hopes, but maybe. But those look to be significant buffs. Pack Leader Survival slight buffs, but to only Survival Hunter, it seems like, not to BM. I believe BM used to play, I is still playing Pack Leader. Sentinel Survival got nerfed, to be expected. Sustained damage and burst damage now of Sentinel Survival will definitely be lower, but that's fine still. Beast Mastery, Wild Rush got nerfed when striking 2 targets, that's really whatever. Storm damage got nerfed by 20%, and Dire Beast damage increased. So nobody played the Dire Beast build, so that's whatever. The Storm damage, it will hit a little bit, but for the most part, it will still be fine. These are not significant nerfs to Beast Mastery, that's whatever. I would say Survival got the shorter stick of the end. No, shorter end of the stick. Apologies. And also you got a 10% boomstick nerf on top of the Sentinel nerf. Yikes. Survival got hit a little bit. Mage, Frostfire, Fire Mage, slight nerf. Frost Mage, Frostfire also got nerfed. That's good. I like to see Mage nerfs. Slinger, Arcane Mage got buffed. I believe they played Sunfury Arcane. I don't think they played Slinger. Perhaps now they might switch back to Slinger because it got buffed actually quite a bit. And also Spellslinger, is that Frost Spellslinger? Yeah, Frost Slinger also got buffed a little bit. Okay. They're trying to balance Spellslinger and Frostfire Frost. Question mark. I am going to be researching and letting you know what's better. Sunfury Arcane got nerfed. Okay, so now after the nerf Sunfury Arcane, I feel like people are going to try out to play Slinger. Okay, good. And also Sunfury Fire got buffed too. The Flame Strike build was kind of useless. People played Frostfire Fire for the more power damage, but that's whatever. Arcane. Sunfury Arcane Mage has been overperforming in low target encounters when tempting down the spec and heal down 3 while giving Slinger a bit of help. Okay, so the single target of Sunfury Arcane Mythic Plus was likely the best so far across any specs. That is definitely valid. It was also doing pretty good for raid too, so that's to be understandable. Additionally, they also nerfed some stuff around, right? Arcane Cleave got nerfed. Arcane Barrage nerfed. Arcane Missiles nerfed. Arcane Blast nerfed. And Arcane Orb buffed. Okay. Interesting. Alright, fair enough. Minimal stuff for fire. Only Apex title changes. Frostware, reducing the power of Frostbolt and Flooded to help Ice Lance and Shatter. Oh my god, thanks god. Ice Lance back on the menu, now we can press it as an actual button. That's good. They are shifting some damage down. Or around, I guess. We're also tamping down Frostfire performance in AoE since it has been overperforming. Thank god, the nerfing Frost page. Let's go. Frostbolt reduced, Flurry got reduced, Shatter, primary target damage got increased, and Ice Lance got buffed. That's fine. I guess the Flurry nerf is gonna be the most significant one. Right? That's pretty good though. That's a nerf to Frost Mage. You love to see that. They nerfed the both OP Mage specs. Good start of my week. These two were among some changes. Shaling gift increased by 50%, but Clouds now increases effectiveness by only 33 instead of 50. Yikes. But Mistline got buffed as well. Amplified Burst got buffed as well. Alright, so I'd say pretty hefty changes done here for Mistfear. Although they nerfed the Apex Talons, but they buffed some of the spells. So maybe redistribution of power. That's it. Windwalk among threat generation by... No, I'm sorry, bro. But at this point, they're trolling. Like, I'm waiting for 5 weeks, holding my large male genitalia, for the Windwalker to get buffed so I can actually play one of the most fun specs on meta. And here's what they're coming with. Threat generated by the Zenith Storm, which the Z-Dam, actual Z-Dam, is reduced by 50. Porcorio! But boys, I don't know what to say. This is actually crazy. Whatever. I mean, maybe next week. Hero to the Sun Retribution Powering got slapped down. I already like Templar better than Hero. Now for sure people gonna get to Templar. And also Templar got buffed. Boys, if you're playing Hero, pack your bags, go to Templar. Either way, Retribution is still gonna be at most average performer. Not really impactful. Protection. Hammer and Anvil now deals reduced damage above 5 targets. Oh, the prot power and nerfs. Hammer and flat damage got reduced by 30. Juicy. Additional retribution paladin buffs. Mastery damage got increased by 100%. Ooh, now we're talking. Okay, I like that. Apex Talon light within damage increased by 10%. Another buff to retribution paladin. Executioner sentence now deals 20% of the holy damage. Was 10. More prio and more burst on the retribution paladin. Okay. Okay, and then some bug fixes as well. Alright, boys. So retribution paladin got buffed as Templar and also additional buffs here. Alright. Now we can talk. I like where we're going. Thumbs up. We're gonna be testing retribution as well. Going to Priest. Holy Priest got buffed by 10% healing wise. That's all. Okay. Fair enough. I think for the most part, Holy just feels like slightly weaker healing wise, but that buff might help a lot. Shadow Priest Void Torrent damage is reduced by 20%, but here's the catch: they're buffing the cycling from 40% to 45%. That's like roughly, if I'm calculating properly, 12.5% buff to Voidling, which should be offsetting the nerf to Void Torrent, which should pretty much means the Shadow Priest got buff, which pretty much means Shadow Priest might be back on the menu. Assuming Void Torrent bug has been resolved and it's now 30 seconds instead of 45. If so, that means a big W on the Shadow Priest. Love it. Nothing for Enhancer, nothing for Elemento. Restoration Shaman, some bug fixes, that's everything so far. Warlock, Hellcaller, Warlock, Malevolence damage got buffed by 230. It's still useless, that damage doesn't really matter. You want to use the effect, not the damage, whatever. This Destruction Warlock, Hellcaller also got buffed on top of the Malevolence buff. Black and Soul damage increase, Wither damage increase, and through the Felvine, now does more damage. Diabolist Destruction is by far the better choice, and I believe it's gonna continue to be the better choice. Actually? Yeah, probably. Until they buff Rain of Fire, probably you're still gonna play Diabolist Destro. About the Affliction, maybe Hellcaller, because they buffed Black and Soul plus Wither more. I would say if they buff Black and Soul by additional 20%, maybe you're gonna play Wither now. Give it a try, okay? Wicked Reaping now also got fixed on Soul Harvester, that's great. Affliction. Satin Validation no longer affects the chance of gaining Nightfall. So less Nightfalls, that's fine still, because you got a lot of shards anyway. Demon Lock. Satin was now increased Wild damage by 35%, was 5% only. Ooh, that's juicy. And Wicked Reaping now increases all demonic souls by 30. Okay. Okay, so now they're buffing it by quite a bit. Ooh, Soul Harvest Demon coming back? I have no idea, dude. Let's check out what they did in Affliction. Reducing the duration of Hound to match its cooldown. The reasoning of this change is to avoid situations where it is possible to have 2 active Hounds at once, causing high damage spikes while talenting Shadow of Netheresia. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. Creeping Death no longer affects the chance of getting Nightfall. Alright, less Nightfalls, but again, doesn't really matter because you get a lot of shards. Destroy Apex Talons, Echo of Sargeras damage reduced by 50. Okay, so they buffed Echo of Sargeras, then they nerfed it, then they buffed it, then they buffed it again, and now they were like, oh shit, boys, it's too OP, and now they nerfed it. Okay, to be fair, this is a very good nerf to Destruction, but they should have been compensated and got their damage built in a Chaos Bolt to help the single target, because the AoE on Destruction sustained damage is insane, but the single target on Destroy is a little bit underperforming, so I would have loved to see Apex Talons nerf, so less RNG, and that damage to be shifted towards Chaos Bolts, Incinerates, more damage on Immolation. It's just anything to make your SD better. Preferably bolts. That hasn't been the case, and I guarantee you they're gonna buff Chaos Bolts maybe in like 2 weeks from now. People are gonna be like, wow, Petko, how did you know? Well, guess what? I'm playing beta for like, you know, already 2 months. I grew my hair. Dude, look at this. I literally grew my hair playing beta, bro. Like, that's what's up. I mean, I know my shit. Anyway, Warrior, last thing. Colossus, Demolish got buffed by 20%. Useless on the Arms Warrior, doesn't really matter. Don't play Colossus Arms Warrior, you will get depression. Fury Tane got nerfed a little bit, that's fine, still gonna be good. Slayer, Imminent Demise now has additional effects. Sudden Death has a 100% chance to trigger Rig the Storm. Insane, by the way. Insane. That means Sudden Death is gonna be an absolute must to press as soon as you get your hands on 2 stacks. 1 stack you can keep playing around it because you can stack, but on 2 insta-send even in AoE. That is great, by the way. But they nerfed to reap the storm damage by 20. That's fine, it was too OP anyway. Slayer strike damage also reduced. Okay, so I think it's still gonna be playing Slayer arms for the most part. Yeah. Also, Slayer arms got nerfed again. Less chances to trigger Tomb. Okay. Fury's Reap the Storm got buffed. Doesn't matter if Fury plays Tane. Arms on top of the nerfs on Slayer arms, you also got the Cleave damage buffed. Barbaric Terrain now affects Slam, Whirlwind, Cleave. Okay. So Cleave as well. That's great. Dreadnought damage reduced by 20. That's fine. Fury Warrior, it seems like they're buffing your Apex Talent, actually. But they're nerfing Rampage by 10%, auto attack damage by 25%, and also they're nerfing the Tane a little bit. And last but not least, Protection Warrior, Revenge damage got increased by 20, and Apex Talon's Phalanx damage increased by 10. So a bit more damage on Prot Warrior too. That's everything, guys, so far. Once again, I'm going to be going into an active testing right now, speaking to Theory Crafters, see exactly what has happened, and if they have any feedback for me, I would love to take it, test myself stuff around, and tomorrow continue to be testing stuff, and at 2 o'clock tomorrow, Central European time, we will be updating the tier list live on stream. Once again, highlights will be uploaded on YouTube as soon as I'm ready. Until then, peace out. Any feedback you guys have, let me know. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow morning for the stream. Bye for now.